All right, welcome back to KTN Prime. Thank you for staying with us. It's now time to wade into the murky world of politics, and I'm joined by two politicians, both are two-time legislators, mind you, so they're seasoned in terms of representation, oversight, and all that falls under their forte. Allow me to introduce them, joined by James Gakuya, who's the Embakasi North Member of Parliament. Karibu sana. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Rogers.
Asante for your time. Equally joined by Kasim Tandaza, who's a Member of Parliament for Matuga constituency. Kasim, asante sana for your time. Karibu.
Shukran.
Let me pull your leg kidogo. I saw some members of parliament locked out of KICC due to rent arrears. I hope none of you was affected.
It's not a question of whether one of us was affected or not. It's something that I would call a bit unfortunate. But you realize that the Parliamentary Service Commission, which pays for those offices, also gets money from the Exchequer. It's not that the Parliamentary Service Commission generates its own money. But there generally has been a problem, basically from the Exchequer, from even, I think you saw last time before we went on recess about the release of NGCDF money, about release of even operations money in our offices. So certainly, John Mandy, I'm sure his tray is full.
He has his work cut out
He has his work cut out.
Interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Asante sana. Let's take a look at some of the issues that have played out in the political scene. And it seems that political battle lines are gradually taking shape, pitting the Kenya Kwanza administration and a crowded opposition on the other side ahead of the 2027 general election. And we understand the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is set to launch his political party. The date we're hearing as members of the Fourth Estate is on the 15th, but maybe we'll get a confirmation right here. So if it's on the 15th, 2 days to go to the launch of the new political outfit that is dubbed Democracy for Citizens Party, DCP. And that launch will definitely send a bold signal. It's not just personal power play, but a direct challenge to the dominance of UDA party and perhaps others say the Jubilee party in Mount Kenya region. And we'll see if this launch will make Rigathi Gachagua the focal point in the region's political future, because only time will tell. And just recently, the former deputy president was emboldened by a Court of Appeal ruling last Friday that overturned the decision by the Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu to appoint a 3-judge bench to hear a petition challenging his ouster. And the former deputy president says the opposition will unite behind a single candidate. He was speaking just this Sunday. Let's listen in to some of the sentiments he shared.
Na mimi, I want to assure you the people of Juja, hii maneno iko sawa. Hii uchaguzi inakuja iko sawa. I, Rigathi Gachagua, have confidence and faith in our judicial process. We have judges of integrity who will be able to give justice not only to Rigathi Gachagua, tuombe tukae pamoja, so that we restore this country, we liberate this country. We have a job to do.
Okay, so they want to stay united till 2027 and past. Gakuya, I just want to begin with you, because just recently we saw the former deputy president resigning from the UDA party. It was actually yesterday, and some say it's been a goodbye that has been a long time coming, and it all culminated in a 5-page letter on how the party has failed on its pledges. What's the significance of this resignation letter, or is it simply just a case of sour grapes?
Thank you, Rogers. Allow me to salute you as whenever they are watching this particular show from. I am sure that this particular show is nationally and mostly worldwide. because today we are under what we call the social media platform. Coming to your concern, let us agree that in fact our political parties are well anchored in our constitution. And the way they are is that it's very clear. No single member can belong to two parties, and especially if you are an elected member in any portfolio. Whether you are MCA, whether you are a member of parliament, whether you are senator, you can belong to one party at a time. You can belong to two parties. Now that Gachagua is launching his party, and he formerly a member of UDA, the best thing that, because I'm sure that in this party he will be the party leader of this new party. And therefore, as a deputy party leader, it will not be fair in law for him to belong to two parties at a go. And therefore, the best thing is to resign from his membership of the former UDA or his former party, the UDA, so that he can fit constitutionally as per the law in the new party. And I think this is what led Gachagua to resign, because this week, as you have stated here, this Thursday, he will announce his political phase. And therefore, I am sure as the party is going to be launched, particularly himself, I believe he will be the party leader. And as a party leader, I don't see any reason why he should still hang to the other UDA party, because it is no longer useful to him. And that's why he has looked for his new vessel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. So it's confirmed this Thursday is when the party launch is happening.
In fact, this Thursday, I'm sure that the party leader and his team will let Kenyans to know what's the name of the bus and also the number plates.
Okay.
And therefore, what maybe will not happen on Thursday is the official launch, because official launch is where you invite now public to own it. And I'm sure that before the end of this month, that will be done.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so it will be a busy month for the Wamunyoro faction, quote unquote.
Of course it will.
Tandaza, what's your view on this move to form a party? Is it simply a special purpose vehicle to raise his stakes in the Mount Kenya region? Is it perfecting the art of political power brokering? What's your take on it?
Thank you, Rogers. I've just been Googling to get the latest.
Yes.
There are 91 registered political parties in Kenya. This will be 92, if the figure I got is correct. But let's say over 90 political parties. This is the latest one. I hope there will be no any other party being registered tomorrow, because constitutionally, parties can be registered once they meet the threshold, which we all know. And I don't think this will be quite different from the 90 or so political parties. Probably the difference will be it might not be as massive, as popular as UDA or probably ODM. But in terms of numbers, of course, it could be 92. Whether it will have an impact in Mount Kenya, I don't think so, because there are also parties from Mount Kenya, and I think this is a fact. We have BAS, we have Chama cha Kazi, we have the Service Party, quite a number. Out of the 90, over 10 political parties are from the mountain. So how it is going to make a difference within the mountain, we are yet to see. But we all know that up to the last moment before impeachment, Gachagua, the former deputy president, pleaded with the president to be forgiven to remain in UDA. So for sure, his heart is in UDA, only that there is no space for him. Because you can play those clips, you know very well. Up to the last moment, before the final impeachment, he was telling the priest, can you find some bit of mass in your heart as a good Christian? Can you justify and forgive me to remain in UDA? But that never happened. So I would say this is a case of sour grapes. Kwa Kiswahili tunasema, kama huzipati basi unasema ni mbichi, hazijaiva, si ndio? You want them, but since now you can't reach them, you say, hata labda zimeoza, and then you move on. Otherwise, I don't think it will really make a difference. Whether he'll be able to use that vehicle now to negotiate with the other political players, it will depend. You know, people will negotiate with you depending on what you are bringing on the table. And with other political parties already in parliament, like his, which will not be having even a member, because I don't think even my colleague here will agree to resign to join that party so that there is a bill. I don't think he'll resign. Probably will put that question once that party is launched. Yeah. But I don't think he'll agree, because he might not come back if he resigns at this particular point on time. And that then complicates the whole matter. Remember also, the former Deputy President Gachagua remains impeached. The little I know about impeachment, and it has not been overturned by any court of law, he cannot hold any public office. So yes, he can be the de facto, call him party leader, chairman, coordinator, ringleader, but again, that brings in another angle on what position he can officially take as an impeached person by the Senate.
Okay, and we'll get to the ruling.
Those are the intrigues.
Yeah, there's a ruling by the Court of Appeal that happened recently. But let's pose the question to Gakuya. Are you willing to resign from UDA party at this particular point, or you will be cooling your horses at the party, waiting for that time around 2027 where you can officially cut your ties with the UDA party?
Lord Judge,
yes.
As much as the law is very clear, just note that in our systems, we have mixed what we can call hybrids. Because according to the standing orders, those who belongs to minority, even in the floor, in the chamber, they have their reserved positions.
In the committees.
They are not entitled to share departmental committees. They are entitled to share particular audit committees. But today, it is not the case. There's a hybrid kind where ODM, as the minority party, is now sharing what you call departmental committees in the chamber. At the same time, the same party, which is known as ODM, has cabinet ministers in the government. And therefore, that particular structure, which bars somebody to belong to this party at a time, then it asks you, if then tomorrow you can be fired by UDA because you are supporting a different party, then the big question is, why is the UDA is in bed with other parties that were not mainly in the coalition at the beginning, but at this particular date, they are in bed together? That tells them if they have not committed any crime in the law, then you cannot be seen committing any crime in the law if you support any other party, even belonging to UDA. But I can't treat you unless the UDA throws me out. I want to resign.
You will stay until the end.
Yes.
Okay.
But my heart is not there.
But you know what they say, you don't stay where you're tolerated, you go where you're celebrated.
Listen to me. There will be nothing that will stop me from doing anything, even supporting the new party. It's only that by my mouth I will not resign. If the UDA party decides that I am not towing the line, it's up to them.
And you're ready for that hit?
I am very ready.
Okay.
Yes.
He raises a very important issue, even as you react to what he said, that some of these departmental committees in the National Assembly are usually set aside for those leaders in the minority side. In the amorphous arrangement we find ourselves in, this broad-based government, ODM is partly in government, and they still chair some of these committees. So how exactly, when you look at PAC, the Accounts Committee, I mean, their work is quite key in terms of holding the government to account and whatnot. How do we balance?
Rogers, I think you've not followed the current arrangement in Parliament. And I think Mheshimiwa Gakuya has a reason to mislead the public. But can I set the record clear? For the committees which are supposed to be for the opposition, they are still being chaired by the opposition. There is no UDA member who is a chair of PIC, or those special funds audit committee. There is none.
But is there a difference between UDA members and ODM members? As it stands right now, they're singing the same tune.
What do they sing the same tune? I think as late as you can remember, if you are to get an ODM person, they're in the opposition. They are the leader of opposition in Bunge, where me and Gakuya sits, is Junet Mohamed, who is an ODM member. That is the leader of the minority, and minority is supposed to be opposition. So when you tell me there is no opposition in parliament, or we are singing the same tune, that is not correct. But remember also, the same constitution and the same laws that we have does not say that an opposition member must oppose what the government says. I think that is where we are getting it wrong.
Okay.
Probably it has happened for so long that we've taken it to be law that an opposition must oppose whatever the government says. But if it is good for the country, why not? I was in NASA on 12th Parliament. I've been on this forum in KTN, and there were times when I would say, I would vote against that. I will vote this one because it is good for the country, it's good for the people of Matuga who voted me in. As for the reason why, and this is where he's trading on dangerous grounds, Mheshimiwa Gakuya, the law is also very clear when it comes to party allegiance. The moment you prescribe to the ideals of another party, the way he's saying, then that is against the law. It's not against Kenya Kwanza regulations. It's not against us, against them. That is the law.
Okay.
But remember again, we can have coalitions. Post and pre and post, pre and post, isn't it?
Yes.
So if for some reason probably his party will come to an arrangement now to be part of Kenya Kwanza in terms of a coalition agreement, then that is a different matter. But for now, he should tread carefully when it comes to the existing laws, which I and him prescribe to as legislators. Unless he wants to change the law now. He can bring a bill, we'll look at it.
Gakuya, briefly.
I just want to ask my colleague, does not mean that the parties without a particular law in place, that they are entitled to be haphazardly making marriage in a hybrid manner that we have witnessed. Is it that they have extraordinary powers or plenary powers to make decisions that it does not even go out to consult members when they arrive to such decisions? Because when you tell me that UDA can accept another membership from ODM party to come in, take over positions that are departmental committee entitled to the ruling, and nobody required to speak on that, then it shows me that it will be too long when that is happening, but any member will be doing so naive if he can be seen even daring to be supporting another party.
Can I clear that, just if you give me 1 minute? And I think Mheshimiwa Gakuya is deliberately misleading people. When it comes to committees, the chair and the vice chair is elected by the members of those committee. I'm a vice chair of a committee. I was elected. I think you are a chair or a vice chair. You were elected. Irrespective of who are in the majority in that committee, they can elect anybody, whether for the government or against. So the issue that it is a political arrangement, I don't know where he read it from, or it may be his imagination, but he knows very well. All committees, the chair and the vice chairs are elected. There are times when even the committee decide to impeach their chair or vice chair, irrespective of the parties. And this has been happening before. It has happened before.
Okay.
It can happen anytime.
Okay.
So this is an arrangement which is the standing orders. Gives us the express permission that once you are members of those committee, a timetable comes out, you go and elect your chair and vice chair, irrespective of whether he's in government or not in government. That's the decision of the members.
Let me ask you briefly, which party are you in currently? You got to Bunge through ANC, yeah?
Sure.
After it was dissolved and joined UDA, are you currently a member of UDA party?
For sure.
Okay.
100%.
Ah, interesting.
My simple concern is what?
Yeah.
Then we want to say that actually the standing orders are there in vain. Why is it that there is reserved positions for minority in the standing order? And those positions, UDA has not taken even one. Why in particular? If the opposition has a green right to take any position as much as they are elected committees.
Anyway, that's a story for another day. Gakuya, let me ask you just briefly. How do you think this opposition will stay united? Because we had Gachagua saying, tutabaki pamoja, they'll choose one person to represent them to face off against President William Ruto. I'm pretty sure there will be political overtures from Kenya Kwanza. Equally, these players in the opposition have personal political goals and they'll want to vie one way or the other. How do you think they'll stay together despite all these challenges?
Rogers, it is as simple as that a cause is a cause which can only be won by one, men and women that are committed to the cause and who are committed to sacrifice themselves. And therefore, with commitment and sacrifice, everything is possible. And therefore, it will remain a secret to the movement or to the coalition, because they should not keep all their beans on the table, so that also they can be able to remain united. I am of the opinion that this particular coalition we will serve to the end. And I don't think that it can anybody, because for sure, it's the business of the ruling to try to dismantle. But I can assure you, it's a business for now. I am sure it's not going to be possible. Because those men and women that are there are tried. Because the state has tried to Kalonzo to join the broad-based. And in the daylight, he has resisted. I can tell you, I am not seeing any possibility of the same ruling to win Matiang'i to get back to the government. And therefore, I cannot even dare to think Gachagua will be even part at any stage. Okay. So nobody can convince me that there is any element that can break that movement. And anybody who thinks that actually there can be a fight for power sharing within that, I can tell you big no.
Interesting. We've had this before, but let's see. Time will tell, yeah?
We don't have to wait for time, right? Two things.
What?
One, in Kenyan politics, I totally disagree with the Gachagua. Nobody would have ever imagined that Uhuru Kenyatta will shake hands with Raila. True or false? Nobody, even in this current dispensation, when we started in 2022, 2023, that His Excellency Dr. William Samuel Ruto would also come together. Nobody saw it coming. So to say that Kalonzo, Gachagua, whoever cannot join together with any other politician, that there is no
never say never.
There are no statistics to back that. If there are statistics, it is to the contrary. But let me tell you why they'll break up, if they have not broken up already. As late as yesterday,
why do you wish them to break up?
No.
In the first place, why do you wish them to
as late as yesterday, Gakuya, as late as yesterday, the former deputy president was castigating Matiang'i. That, look, you don't have the numbers, your people are not behind you. And what is it trying to come out with? That whoever has the highest numbers, then it is automatic that he should be the ringleader. And therefore, when you look at those other people, does Kalonzo have the same numbers that Rigathi Gachagua thinks he has? No. Does Matiang'i has those numbers? No. Iron Lady Martha Karua, no numbers at all. Who else? Eugene Wamalwa, it's a drop on the option. So in short, he's saying this union will remain intact for as long as it is me, because I have the numbers. And there's gone on record everywhere that with the numbers, then you are the one running supreme. So talking about that unity now, when the riding factor is numbers, not ideologies, not manifesto, not anything, that union is non-existent. Two, Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka will he agree for the, is it 50th time, to be a running mate again? The other time we said, if I agree, I must be mad. Thank God, I don't know whether he's mad now or not, but he agreed. He has that history that he can agree again. But will he, this time, to agree again? And he has no option now because his numbers don't match those of Gachagua, according to where Gachagua stands. Okay. Though those numbers are also distributable. Remember, before he was ousted, he would go announcing to everybody to hear that I was elected with 7 million votes. Right. I cannot be pushed away. He was pushed away, 7 million votes, any 1 million vote which came out, none. Now he's talking about 4.7 million votes. Does he have them when only the members of parliament supporting him are only 2, and I think 2 other senators from Mount Kenya? Where are those numbers he's talking about?
Is it just 2? Anyway, the same can be said about your union with ODM. Gakuya, from where you sit, is it a marriage that is bound for the rocks? What do you think will happen between the working relationship of UDA and the ODM party?
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell.
Because the signals are very clear. That in fact, the leader has one choice. Either to let ODM live united as one, or a split. And any decision that will make him to declare himself in support of William Ruto in 2027, that will make sure that the party is divided at that point. Because we have seen Anyang' Nyong'o taking position, we have seen Orengo taking position, we have seen Secretary General taking position, and many other members of that party within. And their positions are very clear in public that we are not going to go that direction. And we have seen Raila himself defending what we call the democracy, the democratic space within the party. Okay. And he has just said, the Secretary General, wherever he speaks for the party. Yes. And therefore, we cannot wish out or wish over any statement made by Sifuna. And that tells you it is 50-50. Okay. Whether this marriage is going to be beyond the expiry of this first term. If there is maybe a proposal for the election of William Ruto, there be it. But I can tell you, according to the indicators, political indicators, it is very clear that Raila must be prepared this time round to lead a party that is divided.
Interesting. We need to take a short break. As we come back, we'll be listening to some of the sentiments that were shared over the weekend during the burial of the late Kasipul Member of Parliament, Charles Ong'ondo Were, where Raila Odinga spoke, the CS for Treasury, John Mbadi, spoke, and equally the Secretary General of ODM Party, Sifuna, voiced his opinions on ODM's position in the broad-based government. We'll review what they had to say after this break. Stay with us.